Hi, I'm Corey Burrell of Bear the Gentleman, and this is the first video interview I've ever done.
I remember climbing trees, talking ghosts and solving mysteries. Younger years were free, and now that we have lived it up, we're growing old and learning how to love. Oh, how to love. I remember scraping knees, Jedi Knights.
So, what got you into music?
Being around it my whole life, pretty much. My older brother was in a pop punk band when I was like 7, so seeing him grow up and do that, and then my mom singing in church all the time, as well as my sister. So I mean, I've been around it basically since I was very little. I remember first instrument I ever picked up was drums, and I woke up one night and my parents were like, "Hey, there's something for you delivered." There's this kit that somebody dropped off at my house. So having a drum set, doing that, was kind of cool. Also, not only that, my dad managed a metal band, a local metal band back in the day.
Who's that?
Their name was Redemption.
Redemption. Okay.
It was like a Christian metal thing.
Who are some of your influences?
My influences are Cirque Survive, as well as Anthony Green, both projects. The Deer Hunter, City and Color, Me Without You, Touche Amore. It kind of varies depending on my mood at the time.
How long have you been playing?
I started playing guitar when I was 13. First time I recorded, I was 15. Wrote my first song. So about 11 years now.
You could open a show for anyone, who would it be? Like, what is your dream?
Okay, if I had to pick, I'm just gonna go ahead and say
You can even pick the whole lineup if you want.
the whole lineup.
Whole lineup.
If I had to pick the whole lineup, I think it'd be cool if it was just like a solo artist show. So it'd be like Dustin Kincher, Casey Crescenzo, and Anthony Green, and then just me as an opener. Because I know a lot of people will come to that, but I mean, it doesn't have to be like somebody specifically headlining. It could be any rotation, but that would just be a dream show for me.
What's your best show experience?
My best show experience was back last year. I don't quite remember the date, but it was during the last Cypress show. So at this point, it was the last show that they were ever going to have before the building was torn down, and that venue had been home for me. Because I had started this project 2008 or something, but it didn't really become anything until about 2011, where the Bear the Gentleman name stuck. But I didn't start playing shows till then either. So basically what happened at this last show was I got so energized and enthused, and I really wanted to give a good performance. And so at one point during the beginning song, I had another band's drummer come up and play with me. Just a tom drum, he hit it pretty much, and I threw my guitar down and just started dancing. I remember at this one point I was like, "Give me all your energy!" And everybody just started doing this. Yeah. You know how when Goku does that thing?
Yes.
Yeah. It was fun.
That's
and
awesome.
I'll always remember that show, just because that place not only gave me my start, but it had my heart in it a lot. It's the first time I've ever been really interacted with the crowd.
That's awesome.
Big time.
Your worst show experience?
Dude, my worst show experience. God, there's so many of those.
What's the worst of the worst?
The worst of the worst. I think one of my worst show experiences ever was I got called last minute to do a show, and this was before Bear the Gentleman was a thing. I was in the Paris Commune at this time. That's what we called ourselves. It was me and my friend Rance. So we got called, and my friend's like, "Hey, we need somebody to come play the show. Do you want to come play?" Yeah, and it was at a Starbucks in Slidell. So I only did like 2 songs because I got so frustrated with myself I walked off stage. And that's just not, that's not me anymore. It's just aggravating to think I even did that back then. But it was still fun. It wounded me a little bit.
How many songs have you released over the last, I guess, 6 years?
Songs I released, there was that 4-song EP, which we'll go and mention, because it was not a very great thing, but it was a start, and how we recorded that was on a video camera. So there's 4 on it right there, and then Younger Years released as a 4-song EP as well before I went on my first tour. So that, probably about 9 songs total that have been released.
And those are all online for?
Yeah, those are all online on Bandcamp.
Talk about your first tour.
My first tour, wow. So what happened was I was working one day and the tour came about with me contacting a friend of mine. So I was talking to my friend Caleb, who's also a local musician around here, and I was like, hey, I really feel like going on tour, what do you think about it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then I contacted another friend in another band, and then he's from Mobile, his name's Dustin. I don't really know what he does now. We haven't kept in touch in a long time, but it was me, Dustin, and then my friend Zach. And Zach's in Simple Life. But they were considered Sleep Silent Scenario at that time, so there were about 4 of us who went on this tour because Caleb got sick. And as far as experiencing tour, that was pretty awesome. It was all self-booked, and I had help. We played about 2 house shows, and we played at, I think, 3, 4 venues. But the last show was at the Cypress, and the first show there were like 2 places to play at. One in the morning that nobody came to except for us, and then one at night, which ended up starting really late. So we had all been up at like 5 in the morning at that time. But it was an eye-opening experience for me, and showed that bands really do rely on their merch. And no matter how much money you have saved up, because I mean, what I would do is I'd save up money and then go. And for me, saving money is difficult unless it's that kind of situation. But it was definitely worth the experience because it put me in line for a lot of things.
Name Bear the Gentleman.
See, that's a good one. Everybody asks me about that. Okay, so Bear the Gentleman, the name came from a little joking legal dispute from a band from the UK, because it originally was called The Kite Season. And me and my cousin were at Thanksgiving out in Orange Beach, Alabama, and we came back early, and I got a message on MySpace. Yes, this is MySpace. Message on MySpace. They're like, yeah, so we got the same name. Do you want to change it, or otherwise we'll illegal? Needless to say, I ended up changing the name to something really stupid, and then me and my cousin were talking about, hey, what if it was Bear the Gentleman? So I typed it as M-A-N, and it just didn't look right. So I put Bear apostrophe the Gentleman instead of man. I mean, you can pronounce it either way, but it just looks better as M-A-N. So this is my setup that I use pretty much every show. This is one of the first acoustics for guitars I ever really bought. One of the guitars was a gift for me, but it's my Fender Sonoran, and it's got a really bright tone. Use electric strings on this. It's one of my favorite guitars. Another favorite of mine is my Telecaster. It's Squier, it's kind of got a vintage look to it. Rosewood fretboard, using electric strings, I think like 10s or 11s. Really good on my fingers, and the tone is very bright for being a Squier guitar, which I'm really excited to be using it a lot. Also, this picture right here is of my grandparents. I taped it on for the last show I did, which was a house show, and really means a lot to me, just having my grandfather right there, I guess, just because it's important. So, kind of a reminder of why I'm doing this a lot of the time. Down here are my pedals, using a Rogue Distortion for a very dirty tone. The analog delay, which is also from Rogue. And then my favorite pedal that I have is this Boss DD7 digital delay that I use for a lot of the reverse effect, because the reverse effect I can make it sound like full. And yeah, that's pretty much my gear. So. I know my words aren't home, but I've got big ideas that the world refuses to see. Refuses to say. Strong man, weak boy, broken arms, all the same in the moment. Who you think you are? I know my words are over. Letters won't save you, kid, she said. It's just heartbreaking when you know she's right and you're dead in bed. I've got big ideas that the world refuses to see, because my head's in the clouds and there's anchors on my feet.